All decision making is what scientists call affect. What we call reasoning, that's merely a tool that can change our affect. But if the affect doesn't go along with it, the affect is going to do what it wants to do, you know?
And I just have to let our listeners know that by affect, you mean emotion. It's our feelings that motivate us to take action, right?
When we decide we want to do something, it's because it feels right to us, not because it sounds right to us, not because we've decided it's right logically. You know, we can decide something is right logically, but that is going to have to change our feeling. If it doesn't change our feeling, we will go with what our feeling is.
Well,
you know?
That explains why people don't respond to facts. I mean, we've got a good 50% or so of this country that is impervious to facts. You can point to 57 different peer-reviewed scientific reports on climate change or gun control or economic inequality or what have you, and they will dismiss it all with a hand wave as a bunch of liberal gobbledygook. There is no way to reason with these people.
Because reasoning is a tool. It is not an action. It is a tool of decision-making, and the decision is a feeling. And if your feeling is greed, you can always find a rational reason to be greedy. If your feeling is that you want to steal something, you can always find a rational reason to steal it. It's your desire to do it that's going to take over one way or the other.
Ignorance is, I don't fault people for being born into ignorance. We all are, sort of. But to remain ignorant, that's a different thing.
Reasoning does not move us. It doesn't make us act. It merely informs our decision making. It informs it. It doesn't make it happen, you know? And we can accept it or not.
The whole Trump thing is especially egregious to me. I mean, it used to be Rubio. I used to call Rubio the misinformer in chief. And Ted Cruz, geez, nobody does spin like Ted Cruz. Nobody distorts the truth. Nobody bends reality as artfully as Ted Cruz. But with Trump, there is no reality. He's just making shit up.
The feeling of hatred is pleasing. It really is. Especially, if you hear something from outside of you saying something that really resonates with your inner feelings, then you're going to be attached to that thing outside of you that made that resonance. And the fact is, all people, me included, at our most basic level, we are out to take care of ourselves, which means it's very easy to hate anything that we see as a threat. And by hate, I mean hate, the real McCoy,
Okay, I get it. We're controlled by our feelings. But we are, after all, human beings capable of overriding our instincts with rational thought.
Some people are more controlled than others. The average person doesn't have a lot of control over those kinds of feelings. They never learned how to think them out. They don't have the personality to do that. There's all sorts of reasons. The average person is very easily, and I've seen well-educated liberals become haters immediately over X, Y, or Z. As soon as they start to feel they are personally being threatened by something, and become very irrational.
But we're talking millions of people who are following these cats, these possessed swine, over the cliff without any thought.
You see people whose lives will become miserable should these people take over, who still passionately support them because they are working on their affects, their sense of fear, their sense of hatred, which follows fear. And that's far more powerful than any rational argument you can give them.
All right, Jan. Well, thanks again for the insight on this week's Word Smatter.